Hey guys, welcome to episode 11 of Dash and Holmesy Take Your Hearts. I'm one of your hosts, Dash, along with my co-host, Holmesy. How are you, Holmesy?
Oh, hey fam, what's going on, dude? How are you? It's good to hear your voice again.
It is the podding of the day.
It feels like it's been longer than usual this time.
It does, doesn't it?
There's a lot going on around not Persona, but we've still been playing the game, still made some progress. I know I'm gonna beat you to a question you're gonna ask me because you ask me every single time, but I have the date written down, so I'm happy that I have it this time. 19th of the 9th. We are up to the 19th of September.
Slow down, boy.
I wanted to get that out there already because you always ask me the question and I'm like, oh, where am I up to? And I just want to say that's where I am because I know I have it written down this time.
But you kind of skipped something.
I've skipped a lot, I know, but I just wanted to get the date out there.
He's got the date. We're already heading into the date.
We got the date. It's we're one ahead of every other pod that I've done so far.
Yeah, but did you know, Holmesy, that this is Dash and Holmesy Take Your Hearts? It's our tri-weekly book club inspired gaming podcast.
We are up to that. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about all of that. Good God, yeah, what are we here for?
We'll look into the hottest games out right now. I'm currently playing Persona 5. In a couple weeks, we're going to be looking at this game. I got my hand right here. Holmesy's all like excited. Look at that big smile on his face right now.
I'm very, very keen.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
And for audio listeners, I'm holding Kingdom Hearts in my hand. Or I'm also holding the other copy of Kingdom Hearts in my hand, the deluxe edition with the steelbook and shit.
What did you get 2 copies for?
Oh, we'll talk about that when we head into Open Your Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Won't we? Guys, Open Your Hearts will be in a couple of weeks, but tonight we're talking about Take Your Hearts, or Persona 5, I should say. And we're going to dive right into it and dissect it tonight with Holmesy. Don't forget to follow us on dashandholmesy.com, soundcloud.com/dashandholmesy, iTunes, Spotify, and other podcasting services where you can give us a follow and a cheeky 5-star rating. That would help us out a lot. And, of course, our hungry family over at 8bit.net. Now you can tell me your date. What is this?
My drink chroma keys in the stream still. It's so great.
Now, what date was it again?
No, I already told you.
No, you can
tell
me.
On to the 19th of September. We're up to the 19th of September. I remember this one. I finally.
So the last time we left off, you had beaten Futaba's palace with her mum as her cognition.
Yes, and we just delved into the very start of Okumura's palace. Like we pretty much gotten to the front door.
Yeah, and you also had a nice trip to the beach and Hawaii.
Yeah, that was weird. It was a little bit odd. I know I've kind of vented on what I thought about the Hawaii trip. It was kind of odd to be not in Japan, but it was yeah. We've been at the beach. We're back at home now. Back in LeBlanc.
Yeah. So since the last part, which was Hawaii, what has happened? Because I'm completely running on a blank here. What has happened between then to kind of like the start of your mission, basically?
Yeah, so we've had a couple of interactions with a new character we have now called Haru Okumura.
Yeah.
Who is now, we'll get into more about who she is in the team in a moment, but she has, we've crossed paths with her twice. We bumped into her at Hawaii.
Yeah.
And we bumped into her prior to that as the flower girl because she was just walking around watering flowers out the front of the school.
Yeah.
And then we bump into her again as we're trying to figure out who she is because we bump into another Persona user in the metaverse because Morgana runs away.
Yeah.
And another one.
And another one.
we have another Persona user who appears after with Futaba being a part of the team now. There was a small bit of the story where Morgana's feeling real down, real useless because Futaba has come in and is basically an incredibly useful character amongst the Persona universe, and Morgana is feeling pretty much like a useless part of the team because every time she goes to do something, Futaba is almost one step ahead all the time. Yes. So she runs away. Morgana cross paths with Haru, and then Morgana takes Haru into the metaverse and teaches her about what the metaverse is and how to control a persona. So now we know who Haru is, but the metaverse that we're in now, which is Okumura's palace, we later learn Okumura's palace. Okumura, obviously, Haru Okumura, is the daughter of, I don't know the dad's actual name. I'm just so used to using their surnames. Okumura dad. Basically, she is the daughter of the person who owns the palace because you don't remember either, do you?
Quick Google. Yeah. Okumura.
I'm so used to like Sojiro and
Yeah.
Futaba and
Well, usually
Kaneshiro, Kamoshida.
Usually it's easy to remember some of the bosses' names and some of the main characters' names, but Okumura
I
is the
remember
one
the
that...
surnames.
Yeah, Okumura is the one that I'm like, man, I cannot remember the first name. Here it is. Kunikazu Okumura.
I wouldn't have remembered that.
Nah,
Yeah, there you go. I'm
honestly...
used to the surnames. Okumura's basically we're in Okumura's palace. Not Haru Okumura, the daughter.
Yeah.
The dad, who is the the owner of the Big Bang Burger corporation, that is now a worldwide sensation for
Okumura Foods.
Okumura Foods, and taking advantage of their employees. And when we're in the palace, we see a whole bunch of robots walking around. There's obviously his cognition or perception of what his workers are. Robots that will work until they die.
Yeah.
Which is very grim, but also very real in this day and age.
I have just noticed something. My mic has been off this whole time on the stream, but that's okay because I've got backup audio of this anyway, so that's all good.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So, what in terms of Okumura's palace, what have you noticed in terms of like it's a big difference in terms of what you are seeing in terms of the past palaces that you have come across again. Like everything is different again. You jump in and the surroundings around you are completely different, but the cool thing is that it takes essentially what is Big Bang Burger and the theme around Big Bang Burger and puts it into what this is.
Yeah, and I did notice that when they talked about it, like during the gameplay, like we realized that we're in space, and I think someone even questions like whether we can breathe when we go to the palace as well.
Yeah.
But someone makes, and I thought about this when we went there too, but someone makes the observation that it's like obviously Big Bang Burger is supposed to be, it's food that's, out of this world, or it's like a space themed kind of restaurant and burger kind of place. And every other one though so far has been, from what I remember at least, like they've all been, I guess, earthly or like, known of things that we are around. Like there's like an art museum, there's been like a freaking castle, like immense penthouse castle, huge looking fancy thing. There's been pyramids, and now all of a sudden we're in a spaceship on like in the middle of I don't know where. We're literally just in a space station.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very different setting. I like it though. I think it's really, really cool. I like the music, and I think this is the palace you were talking about. Whereas like if you don't like the next set of music in this palace, I'm gonna be disappointed. I like it, but it's a little bit too much sometimes. I don't know, is this the one? Is this the one you were talking about?
No.
Is this the palace, or is it another one?
There's another one.
Another one. All right. Cool.
And
I wasn't sure because I sat down and I listened to it, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't quite know if this is like really as good as you made it out to be.
No,
Or maybe I'm
but
getting
this isn't the
confused.
palace that has the music. I was actually going to ask you about the music later on and go, how annoying is the music in this palace?
I did think that after a little while, because like every time you finish a boss fight, or like sorry, not a boss fight, every time you finish a battle, it just like bah, 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 bah. It's just over and over again, like it just repeats itself. And at first I was like, oh yeah, this is cool, like stuff's happening, upbeat music, pretty fast, stuff, what are we doing? And then you spend so much time. I'm in the barracks right now, so I'm like the third level down in this place. Like I've gotten through a bit of the palace, so I think I'm just past halfway.
You're about 3/4 of the way through.
Oh, cool. See, the barracks were a long time. Like there was so many back and forth.
This is one of the longer palaces as well. Like I mentioned this to you last time. This is honestly one of the longer palaces to get through.
Yeah, and I think I'll tell you how I got. I'll tell you how. I'll tell you why I got through it so quickly in a moment too. But I spent so much time in the barracks. And just listening to that music over and over again, I was just like, oh my god. It was such a, not a mundane task, like I wasn't bored, but like I got into such a routine of going back and forth in that palace and hearing the same song play over and over again. It's just like, can it please be something different?
Yeah.
Please. So, I don't know, maybe
you'll get to a point, you will get to a point where the music will change. So there is a little bit of, like, when the music does change, there is that relief of, oh, it changed.
Okay, good. Thank goodness. Okay.
Yeah. So that will come. You're not that far away from it, actually. And when you get to that part, you'll even be like, holy fuck, this is actually awesome. And it's giving me a bit of a mind fuck at the moment. So, yeah. So there is going to be a part that you are coming up to that's going to fuck with you a little bit. But it's awesome. It's still awesome. I think, honestly, this palace was done really well as well. So... I
liked, speaking of like how well the palace was done, I'm still, the barracks area that I'm in now, like it took a long time to get through, but I was almost happy to see, when you push R1 and look at your map and see how it's laid out, I was happy to see how simple it was to get from A to B.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like was that the safe house was all the way at the very beginning of essentially, I don't know, people, for audio listeners, obviously you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm drawing in a clockwise spiral, like the map itself. It snakes around to essentially what, for the most part, is a dead end until you can unlock the last door and get through back to where you started.
Yeah.
The thing that kills me, though, is like, you spiral all the way around and you fight so far, and then like you have to go through some of these doors that trigger loading screens, and then enemies spawn in areas that you've already been back through. And then if you're low on SP and you've got to fight through, like, back through these enemies again, like, I got all the way through, and I was up to the last, like, the chief operator guy who you had to defeat to get the last key card.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, okay, there's literally one door that's separating me from the safe house and looping back around. I'll just go to this door, because surely I've unlocked that. The door stayed locked, so I was literally, like, 5 seconds walk from the safe house, and instead I had to walk all the way back and try really hard to fight my way back around to the safe house or safe room, sorry, to heal up again. And that was the thing that kind of, that sort of frustrated me, like the tiniest little bit, that last door wasn't just like, there's no point in that door being locked.
No.
It should have just been unlockable so you could figure out around the whole thing, but
so
it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But there was for me that, and also, did you find when you jumped into this palace, have you like found that some of the enemies, some of their skill sets and everything, there was a certain skill set, like you had to make sure that you were hitting them either with SP, not HP, and all that kind of stuff, the different kind of attacks that you had to hit them with?
I did notice, although I was pretty fortunate. I don't know what it is, but I've been really lucky in finding enemies' weaknesses, except for one fight. There's one fight I'll tell you about that I had a tough time with, and it did my head in because I had to die intentionally and start again. But yeah, like I don't know their technical, I don't know their proper shadow names. I'm not gonna be able to tell you those. But like the starfish guys, like I was expecting them to be weak to magic and stuff as usual, but they're weak to physical damage. Like, you know, you do a normal attack and it actually shows you like they're just weak to physical hits. Yeah. And I haven't seen an enemy like that in so long. Yeah. And then the big clay doll looking, like, you know, the big totem looking ones, like they're weak to, I think it's Sio or Bless attacks. I think one of the two. They were just really particular enemy types, and like the big elephant looking guy, like he reflected every physical attack, like he could only do bless damage to him, and everything else was just normal or ineffective. And it's like, there's so many different things that you got to remember to do with different enemies. The one that did my head in though was, because you know how you have to go around the barracks and there's 3 different times you have to get 3 different cards. You essentially have to unlock 3 levels of security access to finally get through to the next level. Yes. Yeah. So I did the first 2, or I got the first card, and then the second wave came through, and there was the big, you know, the big lanky guys with the arms. Like the big, the wacky waving inflatable. Yeah. I fought the first one of those. I didn't know that they had. I thought they were just incredibly resilient. Yeah. Because the 3 little soldiers, they have this attack where they sacrifice whatever remaining health they have left down to 1 HP, and everything else around them gets healed to full health. Oh wow! Okay. I kept knocking out the little soldiers, but then the big boss guy would summon another one. One of the fights I got stuck in because I didn't have, I thought they didn't have a weakness, but I went around this fight so many times. I think I ended up having to re-heal myself about 4 or 5 times, and I realized after the 4th or 5th time, I'm just like, oh my god, the boss has lost no health. He's just re-summoned another soldier. There's still 2 more that are there. I've been in 4. There's 4 people there still, not on low health, and I've made no progress. So I had to lose intentionally. Wow. Or I don't think I had something to escape at the time, or I couldn't run. But or maybe I didn't think about running. I forgot you can run. Oh my god. Yeah, R2. You can run. Yeah.
only though when you're in palaces. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean like run away from a fight.
Oh,
like
run away from a fight. Yeah.
I didn't think about escaping the fight. That was stupid. But
Pokemon boy. Pokemon.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah, that was silly. I should have done that. But in the end, I swapped out my characters, and I didn't realize they were weak to fire and wind. Oh, right. I had no idea because I didn't have Arn and I didn't have Morgana in my party, and I swapped them in, and then I defeated that fight that I spent 25 minutes doing. I finished in 5 seconds. It was so quick. It was just done. So
this honestly was my first challenging palace. I remember rocking up and thinking like, oh man, this is going to be cool. I've pretty much swept through the last few palaces, and then when I hit that first enemy and they were like, no, you're not supposed to hit with HP, you're supposed to hit with SP, I'm like, but I didn't know that at first, and I'm like going through, I'm like, bam, okay, I'm going to die again, bam, is this where I end my game and finish it? Bam, I'm like, okay, Persona 5 is not working for me anymore. I had to Google it and see what the go was, and then as soon as I started learning that, and I knew how to get by that, I kind of swept through this palace, but like I know exactly where you're up to, and yeah, like honestly, once again, this is one of my favorite palaces as well. But not for the music, that's for sure.
Yeah, I had a pretty clear note about that towards the end of like what I'd written down. It was like the music's killing me, man.
yeah. Needs to change, and it will, which is good. But yeah, honestly, in terms of storyline and the way everything is in terms of this palace, it's one of my favorites. And the way you kind of get into it, and the way you meet Haru. So did we discuss how you met Haru last time? Oh yeah, we did. Beauty Thief.
Yeah, I really don't like it. I say I don't like. I don't mind her now. When she first made her entrance, I was like,
Beauty Thief.
Nah, sorry, you're not a cool character. There's nothing about you that I like. And she just her persona, like her metaverse personality. I was just like, please stop talking. Please just shut up.
But she the
I don't like anything about how you are or who you are. Your character is just doing my head in, and it's just like super cheesy, super forced, and super weird. But then, something snaps inside the metaverse when she who does she confront? She confronts there's her forced planned husband fiance man.
Yeah, that's right.
Who's talking about taking her to basically be just like basically just an intimacy slave. It was basically you're gonna romance me whenever I want you to kind of thing.
I made a note about that. Yeah.
When that happens and she snaps, I didn't know that you could do something. I thought was interesting was every single time we've had a new Persona user appear, they've all just snapped and suddenly
yes,
here's my persona. Whereas Morgana's talking about her and Haru and saying that she has her persona, but it's weak.
Yes.
It's almost like it's not quite.
She hadn't fully awakened to it.
Yeah, fully awakened to her power yet. And I didn't know that was a thing. So it was interesting to see her have a persona, but really not be able to use it. And then all of a sudden, just something clicks and the persona fully comes out, I guess.
That plays into the story later on. You'll find that'll play into the story a little bit later down the line, which is really cool. One thing I did want to bring up is the treatment of Haru. How did you find her father's treatment with her? How did you find obviously she's being used as a tool for personal gain by her father. Also by her fiance, she's looked at as like a tool for gain, basically.
She's an object to her dad, which is kind of
it's sad.
It's pretty full on.
Yeah,
there's a lot of I say intense. There's a lot of strong themes in this game that are I guess things you can look at in the real world too. Not that this is something I've ever seen personally or anything like that, but it is a thing. There's a lot of different angles that they kind of take in this game, and it was interesting to see. I'm still wondering what the rest of the palaces are going to be like, because every single different palace obviously has a different theme and a different antagonist with, there's obviously something they're doing that's different every single time. So we're 5th palace in now. I'm intrigued to see what the last 2 or 3 are.
Yeah, this one was very unique to me in terms of how the treatment of Haru was in terms of her story at the start before you actually enter the palace, or you've entered the palace, you've met her, and then you've seen her story on the side and been introduced to her fiance, and everyone's like, your fiance? And it's like, yes, I'm her fiance, and I'll be reporting to your father about all the all this, his abuse towards her, the fiance's abuse towards her and everything. And the father obviously looks at her as an object, like you said, and the alleyway incident and everything that happened, and
Morgana gets booted when she's I always get that mixed up.
Yeah, it's alright.
When he's in actual cat form, outside the metaverse is goddamn. Okay, that's kind of sad.
Animal abuse.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, for me, it was definitely one of those moments where I was kind of shocked, and taken back too, because this game really has touched on a lot of themes throughout the whole thing, and it's emotionally a little bit it can distraught you a little bit when you watch this kind of thing, and that kind of made me go, man, there are some this obviously happens in the real world too, and you don't really think about that every day because it doesn't really happen to people like you and me,
No,
but there are people out there that do this kind of thing with their kids as well, and it's terrible.
It's sad.
Yeah,
it's very sad.
Yeah. Are you a fan? So are you a fan of Haru's personality or not? Or
I don't mind her now. Like she's kind of got this airy fairy kind of vibe about her, which I'm a little bit. You know, it's not really like. I don't know. She's a nice person. Like she has a very.
She speaks like this.
Yeah, yeah. A little bit. It sort of gets on my nerves a little bit, but like not like terribly. You know,
Yeah.
she's still a cool character. Like she still seems to have a very strong resolve about like what she wants to do and who she wants to be based on like Okumura's palace and what her dad's doing, and she has her goals set in mind. This is kind of reminded me of like when we got Yusuke in our team as well. Like he was in a very conflicted space as well, and then when he kind of like realizes like, hey man, you know what? Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Like it's very much this, not the same scenario obviously, but like very much the same kind of space again where it's just like something just sort of snaps and they're like, you're kind of a piece of shit, and I'm gonna change your heart about that. So it's cool to see. It's cool to see her change and kind of grow as a character in such a short space of time.
That's good. Yeah, because obviously, you're kind of reaching. You're at like the 60% mark of the game now, which is cool. And with that, you kind of got to like understand that new introduction of new characters now are going to kind of move a little faster than what you're like meeting some of your partners. Part of the Phantom Thieves were beforehand. Obviously, yeah, go on.
No, sorry. Speaking of partners,
oh no,
we romanced Arn finally. We got there.
Oh shit.
So
just Arn at the moment.
Just Arn, yeah. We romanced Arn. I know this is a question that you usually ask a little later, but we're on the topic, so I'm gonna drop it now anyway.
Yep.
Arn is now rank 8, of course, because she's been romanced.
Oh boy.
Morgana's confidant rank is now 8 as well.
Okay.
Mishima is now 6.
Yep.
The weird one that happened with Mishima, I'm going to talk about, like about the interaction you have with him, about him bringing up like other people to change their hearts, and you like confront his shadow version in the metaverse.
Yep.
And Takemi.
Yeah, Takemi.
Takemi is now rank 5. And
Okay.
I recently learned you can romance her as well. So that's 4 different people you can romance in the game, right?
Yes.
Probably more than 4. There's a lot of different female characters in the game. So
yeah.
yeah, we've raised quite a few different confidants in the game so far. Like I've just been working on them. I just keep, every time I go to the map and fast travel, I'll press square and just look over the confidant tags. And if it says up, then I just travel straight there.
Yeah.
And do it.
No, that's good. My next question was actually going to be about Futaba as well. Talking about all this romancing and all that bullshit. So how's your confidant going? How's her personality grown since now coming out of her palace and everything? How's that going?
Well, the story's driven her character as it is. Like, you know, she's become a part of the team. She's a lot more confident in how she is and what she says to the team, and like having a voice when you do like your meetings and stuff. Like she has an input.
Yep.
When there's stuff about like, obviously we're following Haru right now, so like things about her situation, she has an input in as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't do anything with her confidant rank yet because I'm not a high enough. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's charm or kindness or guts. There's something that I need to be like rank 4 or 5 to be able to actually even initiate raising her confidant rank. So I can't do anything. There's been many times where I've seen it and be like, it's like I can make it go up. It's same as Makoto. Like Makoto, I need to have higher charm so that people believe that I'm her boyfriend or whatever in the game.
Yes.
To pretend that I'm her boyfriend, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But my charm isn't high enough for Makoto, and it's either my guts or kindness isn't high enough for Futaba.
Okay.
And same with Sejiro. Sejiro is literally at a level where he'll go up as well, but I need my kindness to be the best, like the highest rank.
Are you working on those? Like within
the time. I've been doing like work in the flower shops. I bought like the nutrients for the plants and shit. We're going to like the baths. I went and did like the Big Bang Burger challenge, even though I shouldn't be giving them my money, but I am. I did that till I raised my guts and shit. I'm reading books on the train and all that. I'm like doing everything I can to raise these stats. Yeah. And every time I get like 2 or 3 little ticks to say like, bit, you did a really good job. I'm like, this is it. And nothing has gone up for so long. It's killing me. Why, man? It's so slow. The last 2 points from 3 to 5 takes forever.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, the more you work on those stats, the more they'll grow, obviously. The more that you do these activities. Look, it is grindy. It is so grindy. And it was
profoundly grindy.
Oh, man. I remember doing it for my first playthrough, and I was so frustrated with not being able to max everything in my first one. Mm-hmm. And I remember talking to people and going, hey, you know, I'm trying to platinum this game. I'm trying to make sure I max everything. What do I got? And they're like, I did it on my first playthrough. I'm like, bullshit, you did it on your first playthrough. I can't even fucking get through nothing on my first playthrough here.
I'm going to segue something here as well, but I feel like you need to have a lot of time management in the game.
Yeah.
And for someone to sit down and actually max everything out first playthrough.
Yeah.
I've been going through for like quizzes, for example, and I will look the answers up because I know I'm going to get them wrong.
Yeah.
So I'll look them up because I'm just like easy kindness. Or not easy kindness, easy intelligence.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. But like if someone goes through this game and maxes everything out first run, they are reading shit the whole way through. There's no way. There's no way you can play this game blind and max everything first run.
Yeah.
I've been doing it reading casually, and I have not maxed everything out. And I'm 60 to 70% of the way through the game, apparently.
Oh, yeah. There are people who cheat. No.
If people max it first playthrough, they are managing their time really, really well. Which, I'm going to segue because something really frustrated me that I realized today.
Here we go.
It's only tiny, but like it annoyed me.
Yeah.
You know how you can do crafting at your desk in your room? There's like you can craft, you can make lockpicks, you can make like, you know, your smoke bombs to escape fights, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
I woke up one morning in the game and today when I was playing, I woke up in the game and I went straight to the desk and I thought, you know what? I think I've used a few lockpicks. I'll make some more. So I sat down, I made 4 or 5 lockpicks, and it's like, because it's earlier in the day, you have more time to craft items. So do that. And I did. The thing that gave me the shits was I sat down and did this, and I crafted 5 lockpicks, and I lost my entire day.
Oh, man.
It went all the way to the evening, and I'm like, how does crafting 5 items in the morning make you lose that entire day? It's like, that is a whole heap of time that I've lost for time in the metaverse, for like the palace. It could have been time like grinding confidants, which was also like a pretty big thing. I could have been going through the actual, like the mementos and like getting experience in there, like being in the palace. There's so much that gets stripped away from you just because you do one activity in the morning, and it seemed really unfair that you lost the afternoon, and I guess like any of the late morning and daytime just goes, and you skip straight to the evening, and all you have is one more task to do during the day, and you're done. It's kind of crazy.
It's very, like, once again, that grind comes into play, and well, like you said, it's a very time management. I have been actually given a proper walkthrough of the game, a playthrough, or like a walkthrough guide from GameFAQs by Dylan Blight from the Explosion Network. He actually gave one to me, and he's like, go through this and you'll get a platinum. And I'm like, okay, I've already stuffed up. Went into Kamoshida's palace. I was like, all right, I'm ready to do this. You don't have enough lockpicks yet. I'm like, fuck, how the fuck did I already miss this? Went back, had a look at the guide. I missed one lockpick. It basically ends that playthrough. It's like, fuck.
Oh, so to do a playthrough in platinum, you need to like literally.
It looks like perfection.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was
I
like,
will not be platinuming this game.
Yeah, no, neither will I. But it was like,
no, you'll do it.
It'll take.
I believe in you.
Maybe next year or something. Not this year.
You still got 11 months.
Bitch, I got fucking Kingdom Hearts to play. All right. You can You sit there and you wait.
We'll do a level 100 race. We'll see you can get to level 100 in Kingdom Hearts first.
Yeah, exactly. I got Kingdom Hearts to play now. So, the thing is though, having to like play like platinum this game, I'm like, man, seriously, there are so many like time management of this game is to the essence of those who really want to be a completionist.
It's paramount, yeah.
Oh, fucking paramount's an understatement, man. I don't even know what the word is, but it is like paramount is a good way to say it. It is so grindy. It is so time efficient. It is like you need to sit there and go, okay.
You got to do things in like a certain order.
Yeah, today I'll do this, and today I'll do this, and then you got to understand that you'll be spending hours on one thing in the game, and then it's like, man, I've already given 400 and something hours of this game to my life to this game. And it's like,
yep.
How much more can I give?
It's a lot of time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, you enjoy the game though, so like,
I love
not
the
like
game.
It's a chore or anything.
No, not really. But I have kind of taken a break from it, mainly because I'll get back to it. Don't you worry. To be like, man, I really want to play Persona 5 again, and I will get back to it. But
After
right
Kingdom
now.
Hearts.
Oh man, I've got so many games that are on the side that I've got to play anyway. But Persona 5 is of the essence at the moment, and I've got to ask you as well, Sojiro, how is he? So has he been questioning you guys in terms of what's been going on at all?
Not really. The only time I saw something come from Sujiro recently was when we were sitting down. I think there was a point in the game where your like senpai is sitting down with Futaba at just like in LeBlanc having a coffee or having like curry or something like that, and something comes up through the group in like the group message or whatever, and Futaba reads it and like bumps senpai, and then you look at the message as well, and then he's kind of like, like what are you?
Yeah.
What is it that you can't say out loud that you're messaging on your phones about? And like he doesn't clue in, he doesn't say anything or whatever. Like I think there was also a time where the Phantom Thieves came up as a topic of conversation, and everybody in the group was very passionate about supporting him. He's kind of like settled down a little bit, like they're cool, but like you're going. Yeah, he seems like he's clued in but not clued in.
Yeah,
like he knows something may be up, or like that we're talking about stuff, or like the group of friends that we have together are there's something that they're doing together, but he just doesn't know what. So
it's okay, Dad. Calm down. You don't have to nothing. It's all right. Don't worry.
I can't do anything more with him though, because his confidant rank is stuck at the moment. So I've been working on everything else. I want to get his further up.
You can only do what you can do at the moment.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, between last session now, have you been in Momentous at all?
No. So because I'm at where I am now. I got a bit of a routine done with the palace at the moment, doing barracks, because I had to go like, going in and out. You got to fight quite a few enemies anyway, and I ended up realizing in my run that there were 3 different persona or shadows. Sorry, there are 3 different shadows that I could claim as persona in my run through, and they were actually quite high level. One of them was 29, the other one was 33 or 34, and one of them was 35. And my confidant rank for my other persona that I have that I'm keeping is really high. So I think one of them is called Made no Uzume or whatever, and that one I think was, I can't remember what the confidant type is on it, but like one of them that I have, like my confidant rank is like nearly max, like it's really, really high.
Perfect.
And the level 35 shadow that I took as a persona, because it's such a high level, when I infused it or powered up one of my other persona, I got like 20k experience from infusing it or like sacrificing it to the persona I wanted to power up. So the ones that I use the most now, like my favorite ones with like such a variety of abilities and all that kind of stuff, they're now nearly the same level as my actual character. One of them I even got from doing, I get a question actually about one of these things
go on.
I saw. But yeah, they're really high levels now. One I wanted to ask about was I unlocked 2 new things in that space in the Velvet Room.
Right.
One of them was the electric chair, which I don't need to ask about that. That one was really cool. So I can infuse, or I can sacrifice a persona and an item and create a stronger item out of them, which I think is pretty cool. But I haven't been able to do that because I don't have the base items for them yet.
Yep.
The other one, though, was public execution. And I didn't know about that one because it says network. And is that literally like you sacrifice a persona and put it into an online pool of personas you can sacrifice, and someone else's fuses with yours, like a random player online?
That's what I kind of gathered.
Because I don't know. It said something about network, and I was like, am I infusing persona with other people's personas that they're sharing like while I'm playing the game? Because that's really cool.
Because I thought the same thing, but I haven't actually tried that. So I might actually have to Google that.
Because I did it. I sacrificed like a level 25 or 26 persona.
Right.
And it came back as a level 40 persona. Yeah. And I'm level 38. Wow. So I now have a persona that's 2 levels higher than my character because of sacrificing it with someone else's. Right. Like a random one.
Yeah.
So it actually worked out like super well for me.
Yeah. That's interesting though that you picked up on that, because I didn't at all. But I remember seeing it and going, oh yeah, maybe this is actually fusing with other people. Yeah,
because it was just like a random, it came up and I thought like, why not try it? And I just threw a random one in there and I got something cool back for it. So
there you go.
It's worth giving it a go. You can only do it once a day though, so you can't just keep throwing them up there.
Well, I'll definitely, you know what, I might actually open up the game and have a look at that.
Give it a go. See what you get out of it. You probably got high level persona to use anyway.
I have. Do I have high level persona or what? The last run through I went into, I was like, you know what? I'll buy back a couple personas, see what they do. Bang! I was like fucking level 70 persona, level 80 persona, level 90 persona. I'm like, one shot, one kill, hit fatalities, fucking here going on. Bang, 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 bang.
It must be so easy for you. Like a New Game Plus, man.
Yeah, it's not well. It is, and it's kind of was. I was like, this is not really challenging. I don't like this.
You can just breeze through the whole thing because when you go through, does it all revert to the original levels again?
It does, yeah. Yeah.
So you're like level 70 and you're fighting enemies that are like level 5.
5.
That's nuts. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it dropped that low.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And that's what's funny about it too, is that you actually see that later on in the game. You're like, oh, okay. That's all right then. Yeah.
You like blow on people and they just fall over.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's crazy.
I'll ask you this. In terms of some of the character development of the game as well, from the start to now, in terms of how you're finding like a difference between some of the dynamic of each character in the game, in terms of not how they were when you first met them or anything, because we covered that last episode. How are you finding it now with like new characters that are coming through, like Haru and all that, kind of joining the Phantom Thieves and all that? Does it change the dynamic of how you are playing this game at all in terms of the group dynamic at all?
It's made me think about the economy of the game a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not so much experience, because everyone gets experience equally from what I can see when you're playing it anyway, so everyone levels up as is.
Mm-hmm.
But more so money. So like when you're playing the game, like I've gotten like extra jobs in the game to get extra income as is, and I'll find treasure as best I can. I've got lockpicks to get those as well.
Yeah.
But I'll be smart about who I know I'm going into palaces with now. So like for OKUMURA'S palace now, like I know that I want Morgana and I want Ann in there because and Ryuji. Those 3, like actually the original trio, plus me, because they have the ones that most of the enemies are weak to, or they have the elements that most of them are weak to. And when I want to buff them up, like I'll spend money on their items instead, as opposed to spending items or like buying them like equipment, like a weapon, a melee item, and like armor and accessories. Instead of spending like 20-30k on stuff for characters I'm not going to use, I'll spend it on the ones that I need it for in that particular palace.
Mm-hmm.
Before, I was trying to go through and buy stuff for every single character, and it was just a waste of money. So
yeah, no, that's actually that is actually pretty smart as well, in terms of actually knowing who you want to use later down the line as well.
Yeah.
Because you'll definitely find that within the next palace or whatever, you will be finding that, okay, I need to make sure that I'm perfect on the like this next palace. You're gonna be like, fuck, okay, I need to be perfect here.
Yeah,
I need to be perfect. I need to know who I'm going in with. And it's funny that you mention it now, because that's definitely what's going to happen.
Yeah,
like very soon.
I can imagine like the last few palaces are going to be pretty intense as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to prepare and get myself ahead of the game.
Let's jump into the usual questions now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Favorite character? Has it changed?
Well, I mean, it's still Sejiro, but like I say my favorite character recently, because I haven't really interacted with Sejiro lately. So like he's still my favorite character for like the relationship you have with him, but favorite character that I've interacted with the most recently, it's actually kind of hard. I don't know who to answer now. I want to say Ann, just because I actually do like how her character has changed, not just because of romance or in the game.
No, fair enough.
Because all the different stuff that she's done in the game, like particularly with her, I literally just did this scene as well in the game, and I can't remember her name. Who is the girl that jumped off the roof in the start of the game? I can't remember her name.
Suzuha?
It's
Suzuha, isn't it?
Oh, Shiho.
Shiho, yeah.
Shiho,
I think that's her first name anyway. Shiho Suzuha.
Yeah,
go on.
She like that's come back around in itself, and like you can see how far she's come throughout the entire game. I feel like she's one of the most level-headed people in the actual team so far.
Yeah, sorry. Shiho Suzui. I was thinking Suzuha from Steins Gate, but you go on.
Oh, okay, yeah, Shiho Suzui. There you go. All right, it's close.
Yep. Far. I'm losing it now. Go on.
Just how far Ann's character's come throughout the whole game as well. Like, everyone's had such a weird... Every single character has had such a weird journey, and everyone's changed so much in what feels like a short time when you sit down and play the game in little bursts. But it's 60 hours of gameplay I've gone through so far.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a long time.
I can only imagine.
I can tell you that I am starting to dislike Ryuji more and more every day.
Are you serious now?
100%. Like, all the stuff that like his focus in the game so far, like right now, what we're up to is like constantly talking about like, oh,
Big
we're the
fucking
Phantom
call.
Thieves. Like, you know, we could. If people knew who we were, we'd pick up so many girls. We'd be so famous. We could get whatever we want. We could do what we want. We'd be so well known, and people would want to support us even more as people, not just as like an anonymous team.
Yeah.
I feel like later in the game, he's going to be the reason we get found out, because there's so many times where he is nearly like blabbed out who we are to people.
Right. Do you
he's
feel like you're going to get found out, do you?
I feel like he's going to be someone that creates... I don't think he's going to like ever leave the team or anything like that. Like,
But are you calling it? Are you saying you think that the Phantom Thieves are going to get found out?
I think he'll be... I mean, I feel like they are. They obviously have been in the end of the game, because we see like that at the very start. Like, that's like we get caught in the cognitive realm in the metaverse. So I feel like part of people knowing who we are and where we are is because of Ryuji. So I don't think he may not necessarily be the guy to say like, I'm a Phantom Thief, come catch me, police. But I think he's going to be an integral part in people finding out who we are in the game. Yeah.
Interesting call.
There we go. Another one.
And another one.
I've made a few calls about this game. I've been right about one. What was my other one I was going to make?
So
there's another one that I said.
You said that the end of the game... Oh, man. You said something about the end of the game. You said that... what was it? Do you remember?
It was something about Sai like accompanying us and siding with us and taking like following our team, basically to go and catch the real culprit kind of thing. That eventually like her confidant rank was going to be high enough at the end of the game that she was going to be on our side and we were going to work with her to take down the real culprit.
Okay.
That's how I think the game's going to end, when we finally recap everything that's happened, because that's what we're essentially playing right now, where we are living Senpai's recap of the entire story so far while we're talking to her.
How far off do you think you are from that?
Maybe like another 10 hours of gameplay, 10 to 15. I feel like that's like that happening is going to be like a short period of time. Like, I feel like when it actually does become that time, like I would be upset if it's like an entire palace that we have to go through while we're with her to do that. I feel like it'd be... I would hope that it'd be something like a small encounter, like when we go and confront somebody and then big boss fight.
Okay,
kind of crazy
so
like
you do know that there is another palace on the way.
From when we...
You're about to beat this one.
Oh yeah, I know there's another... We've done 5 now, yeah?
Yep.
There's 2 more, right? 2 more that I know. There's 7 total, right?
Yes.
We've done Kamoshida, Kaneshiro,
Yep.
Madarame,
Yep.
Futaba,
Yep.
Arena OKUMURA'S now.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5.
That's 5, Okumura. Yep.
Don't say the names out loud. But
Yeah,
if you
I'm
remember them.
going to say in my head, that person. Okay. I'm not saying anymore.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. You got a good theory. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
All right. Now we're gonna play a little bit of a rapid fire game here, something different that we haven't done yet.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go through some of the characters in the game. I'm gonna say their name, and I want you to just associate one word with them. Just basically like kind of like the 20 questions game with one word attached to them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yep. So first word that comes to your mind when I say their name. Okay, ready? Joker.
Charismatic.
Morgana.
Annoying.
I knew that was coming. Arn.
Sexy. No. I mean, I said that's the first word, so yeah, we're going to go with that. That's literally the first one.
Do you have another word?
Important.
Okay, cool. Ryuji.
Frustrating.
Okay. Yusuke.
Calm.
That's an interesting one. I like that. Makoto.
Resolve.
Futaba.
I have a word which I think let me look this up to make sure I've got the right meaning before I say it, and then be like, that's stupid, he doesn't know word.
For audio listeners out there, he's looking it up.
Enigmatic.
Enigmatic?
Yeah. Difficult to interpret or understand. She's got a very unpredictable personality.
That's a good one. I like that. That's actually a really good word.
Thank you.
Haru.
Spacey.
Okay. Sainijima.
Ironically, because we're in the we're in the space palace.
No, fair enough. Sainijima.
Inquisitive.
Inquisitive. I like that one too. Sojiro.
Dad.
Yeah, Dad. Yeah. I was waiting for that one. Goro Akechi.
Young.
This one's an interesting one because we never actually talked about this character at all in the podcast.
Mm.
The SIU director.
Mysterious.
We've never actually talked about him. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
I don't know what there is to talk about though. I say that like I say. I guess that's something to talk about how little there is to talk about him. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
We see him pop up every now and then. Clearly, he knows something about the metaverse. Clearly, he's working with people who know stuff about the metaverse because they caused the school principal to have a heart attack and fall into the front of a car.
Yeah, which is something we never actually talked about either. So
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We mentioned that, but we didn't really go into detail about it. But yeah, that happened, and like that's big. Like that's quite a lot.
We didn't because that actually like last time we talked about Hawaii and it ended there. And when you guys came back, it essentially was from here to there that he actually had the heart attack. So
yeah, true.
yeah. So
that happened, and I like it's obviously like he has something to do with this phantom I guess like this mysterious user of the
metaverse,
cognitive realm, or the metaverse. Yeah, like we don't know who this person is, but clearly they do. Clearly they know who they are because they're working with them, or there's someone that they know who's able to get access to the metaverse. They know something about this place. They know what it is and where it is.
Yeah. It's an interesting story about that too, and I can't wait for you to touch on that. Definitely is going to be something that you'll come across and go, oh fuck.
There's more and more that I keep seeing about this guy, like just popping up randomly in little like cutscenes and random dialogue bits about stuff that we've done that's like that's caused things to change for them, or like stuff they've noticed us do. So I'm intrigued to see who they are and why they know so much and how they know so much.
Yeah, it's one of those. I remember playing it and going, it was one of those oh my god moments as well. There are so many of those that are coming up that you're just going to be like, holy fuck, what the fuck is happening right now?
Well, one thing I realized as well, like looking back on it, and I think there was someone else that came into the team recently that it was for Haru. When she became part of the team, something that sparked my thought process was when she got the app on her phone again. Like we all got this app on our phone where you type in like a name, there's a name, a location, and a treasure, or like something. Is it something like that? Was it three different things, or like something like something related to like their location or whatever it was?
Yeah.
But we didn't really give much thought to what this app is, or where it came from, or who put it there. It just appeared, and we are just blindly running through this place with knowledge from Morgana, who is someone that. Obviously, I feel like more so now, like I had this suspicion of like his character being one that we couldn't trust, but now that they've left and come back and we've kind of like resolved and reunited the team again after Morgana being away for so long, I don't have those suspicions anymore. Like I feel like they are like
it's something that's changed.
I trust Morgana's character now.
Yeah,
but we don't know anything else. Like Morgana now is at a stage where I keep saying she.
That's all right.
Morgana is now at a stage where he doesn't know much about what's in the metaverse either, and Futaba is kind of like making these interpretations or like assessing what's coming up.
Yeah.
And the fact that Morgana is the only one at the moment that's introduced us to the metaverse and told us what he knows so far, essentially the rest of this we're kind of going through blind.
Yeah.
And we're just interpreting this as we see it, but like we actually don't know how the metaverse was created. We don't know who gave us the app. We don't know. There's so much about this space that we don't know. And I feel like there's someone, I guess the SIU director, for example, like and then the research around the metaverse with Futaba's mum.
Yeah.
There's a whole heap of this stuff going on that we have no clue about, and I'm intrigued to see how all that kind of comes to fruition because there's a lot that we're in the dark about, and I think that you actually told me the other podcast we did last time. You said don't go back and look at the start of the game again, like just forget about it. Like, don't go, and I haven't, but I feel like that's one of the things I remember about the fact that like we got this app out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty big thing that people, I feel like it's almost intended to be forgotten about. Same as like where we were at the start of the game. Like you get this app and then you just kind of do it. This is the game. You're playing in the space, which is the game.
Yeah.
But very rarely do you stop to question, why am I in here? How did I get in here? Who gave me the access to this? And like, what is it? So there are the questions I've got on my mind at the moment, because we're getting closer to the end game. And I'm starting to ask myself these questions while I'm playing it.
It's great. I love it. I love how like you're kind of sitting there going, man, so many questions unanswered, and they're all going to be answered real soon. And I can't wait for you to see that. It's going to be so good. And that's another thing I would ask you. So sitting there playing this game now, do you actually find yourself kind of coming up with all these theories in your head of how this is going? Like, do you enjoy sitting there and coming up with all these theories in your head? Because I remember you said last time, this has been awesome. Like we've gotten to a point that this is fucking awesome playing it. Because we were talking to, I can't remember who it was in the chat. There was somebody in the chat we were talking to last time, and they were like, I'm considering picking up a PS4.
Oh, Engage.
That's right. And he said, and you were like, man, it's so worth it. It's so good and everything. Do you find yourself like enjoying playing the game and sitting there like theorizing, like coming up with all these theories in your head going, man, what if this and this and this?
I do now. I didn't so much. Sort of. I think it could have been the music. I know it's such a small thing, but because it was such a big part of the palace. This is the only other palace I've gotten to since Kamoshida's palace, where I was kind of like, oh man, when do we get out of here?
Because of the music.
I like the aesthetic. I like the design. The palace is cool, but the music.
The music is so bad.
Please just change it.
You can always mute the TV if you want.
That's true, but I like hearing the voices. Like I like hearing the talking.
Good point.
But, that's the only real thing that kind of like made. This wasn't taxing. It wasn't just kind of like, man, make this end.
It's not a Kamoshida taxing palace, but yeah.
Nah, it took a while though. I was lucky. That's what I meant to tell you. I was going to say I was lucky in going through that palace because I didn't go through sequentially and fight every single officer.
Right.
You know, as you go around and it's like the first one, 2 different guards spawn, and then 3 different guards spawn, and then 4 different guards spawn, or 5 or something like that.
Yeah. And
I didn't go through from the start of the safe room all the way through to the last one. I picked random ones.
Yeah.
The first one I got it wrong and I fought both of them. The second one I fought one and then I guessed the second without investigating who it was meant to be, because I'm just like, I just gonna fight them. If I get it right, I'll get it. I get through it. If I get it wrong, I get experience. And I got the first one, fought them both. The second one, only had to fight 2 when I got it right. And then the last one, I looked at where they're all laid out and I was like, there's one guy right at the last door. I'm gonna go fight that one. And I had to fight no one. My brain was just like, because I same as like thinking about the story and thinking about where we got the app from. I like to sit back and think outside the box and just take a step back and be like, where are we? Why are we here? What are we doing? And I looked at the map and I was like, big spiral. There's the last door. This guy is the last one you're gonna actually walk to.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the one. And I walked all the way to him, fought him, and sure enough, the last guy you fight right in front of the last door was the one that gave us the key. So I didn't have to fight 5 big boss guys. I just had that one fight.
Yeah, that is one of the most taxing parts of that palace as well. Yeah. I remember playing that going, where is this fucking key? Just hurry up and give it to me already. Yeah.
It got a little bit much, so I'm glad that I got to skip all of that and just get the last fights in particular. I was like, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of enemies. The big guy, we figured out his weakness pretty quickly, but it was just a large fight and a long process winding through the rooms back and forth the whole time.
Yeah, I remember that. That was really, really taxing. I do remember that. Holmesy, do you have any final thoughts?
Let me have a quick look, because I've written down like most of the notes I kind of have here. I've knocked through already, but no, the only note that I have still left here is the one that I said about Ryuji before. That I feel like he's gonna be the straw that breaks the camel's back when it comes to revealing who we are. But no, I'm keen to see where the rest of the game goes. I'm excited to see what happens at the end of this palace.
Yeah.
With the way the game has to progress and all that, obviously we are gonna. The only thing I guess is because the game has to move forward. Like, I can see that we're gonna do this. Like, we're gonna take down Okumura. Big Bang Burger's gonna go under. We're gonna change his heart. Oh, that was the other. I forgot one thing. I was gonna say before I move on to the next thing. I just remembered. This palace at least I feel like is a little bit predictable. I feel like I know what.
Why?
Because we know what we need to do. Like, we have to stop Haru from being sold off and basically be given as like an
object that's been sold off.
Planned marriage, quote unquote, literally an object for this guy to sleep with or whatever. And like, we're gonna do that because she's obviously part of our team. So we know we're gonna change his heart. We don't know what's gonna happen at the end of that, but we know that the palace is gonna end. So I get that, but I just don't know what's gonna happen after. That's all. The thing that I thought was really weird, we kind of went into it a little bit before, but I didn't go into detail, was talking to, oh crap, what was his name again? The guy that runs the website.
Mishima. Yeah, go on.
Mishima, yeah.
We forgot about this. Yeah, go on.
Seeing him seeing his shadow.
Oh, so you got to that. Yes.
I did that bit, and it was so odd. Like, I'm really glad we didn't change his heart.
Okay.
But, like, it was such a weird interaction to go to the metaverse, find his shadow, and see that he has a shadow. Because, I mean, everyone that doesn't have a persona has a shadow. But it was weird to see his shadow in the metaverse and not confront them, but, like, basically just just about every other time we've gone to the metaverse, it's been for the purpose of defeating a shadow, changing someone's heart, and getting out of there. This time we went there, we spoke to a shadow. We didn't battle them. There was no conflict, no physical fighting. It was just talking to a shadow and being like, you shouldn't do that. And
that's
then
right.
we left, and it's like, why didn't you change my heart then? And it's just like, we shouldn't have to.
No, you're wasting time, mate. Yeah.
And it's like, that's kind of, I mean, that's obviously would be really wrong to kind of do that kind of stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Like to change the heart of somebody, in your team like that.
Yeah.
But it's still interesting to see that kind of conflict go on amongst the team and not act on something like that. It was weird.
Yeah. Look, that was honestly one of the more unique experiences of actually interacting with the shadow, obviously. And it was really cool that you actually got to that part. I was waiting for that. So look, honestly, that's awesome, dude. And I can't wait for you to actually see some of the interactions you have with Mishima later down the line too. So yeah, we'll see.
There's a lot more progress to make in the game. I know that we're past the halfway point, but there's still a lot to do.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be interesting, man. But yeah, guys, if you didn't know, this has been Dash and Holmesy. Take your hearts. Make sure that you follow Holmesy on Twitter at HolmesyIn5. He's going to be playing some Kingdom Hearts pretty soon over on his channel.
Like in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
He's also make sure you follow myself on Dash Gamers. Make sure that you follow us over on dashandholmesy.com, soundcloud.com/dashandholmesy, iTunes, Spotify, and all the other great podcasting services where you can give us a cheeky 5-star rating. That will definitely help us out. But you can also catch us with our Hungry Family over at 8bit.net every 3 weeks. Be sure to also catch myself and Buddy Watson over on Dash Culture. This week we've got Ryan Betson to discuss the Royal Rumble, Kingdom Hearts 3, and a whole bunch of other stuff that we talked about in the last couple of weeks. But guys, once again, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for listening. Holmesy, thank you so much again this week, dude.
Always.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to see where this whole adventure takes you, man. But until 3 weeks, much love.
Stay hungry.
dashgamer.com